moment in world history that will never be forgotten, far away from home, but developed right here on the Iowa State campus. World War II was heating up, and so was the threat of Germany's nuclear weapon research. So the United States began research to create nuclear weapons of their own, widely known as the Manhattan Project. The Manhattan Project was looking for an expert in rare earth chemistry. There just happened to be an expert professor at Iowa State College named Frank Spedding.
And so that's really how he got involved, basically because of his background in rare earth chemistry and the fact that he was well known.
Spedding was appointed as the head of the Manhattan Project's metallurgical laboratory, but he couldn't tackle this all on his own.
Well, that was a lot for him to do on a sustained basis, so he looked for another person who could help him and head up the project here at Iowa State College, and that was Dr. Harley Wilhelm.
Wilhelm is there on the left.
Iowa State archivist Brad Keenan says the two had different roles but were both essential to the project.
Spedding was more of the administrator. He worked with the people in Chicago, he worked with the federal government, made sure the money was coming in, made sure the contracts were in place. But it was really Wilhelm that spearheaded and understood the processes.
They hired other Iowa State staff members and students to form the Ames Project. They were tasked with something that many thought was impossible at the time, to develop a method for the production of pure uranium metal in large quantities. The Ames Project went straight to work at Gilman Hall. By August of 1942, they had found a way to purify and develop uranium. They sent 11 pounds of uranium to the Chicago Metallurgical Laboratory, and they were impressed.
They came to Iowa State College with a contract for $30,000 to begin producing 100 pounds of purified uranium a week.
But that contract became revamped as the production became more successful.
That went to 3,600 pounds a week, and then it went to 36,000 pounds a week.
They needed a separate building to begin this increase in development. That is when Little Ankeny became the home of the Ames Project.
There wasn't a lot of security, right? I mean, you're developing uranium, but in order to keep it so there weren't people really nosing around, I mean, they kind of played it low key, right? There's not a lot of security guards, there's no perimeter fences around this building. They were producing pure uranium in this structure right on the middle of campus.
A rock and a plaque stand as memorial for all the hard work that took place right here on the site of Little Ankeny. And with the building being right on the middle of campus and directly next door to the journalism building, students were full of curiosity, but nobody knew exactly what was going on in the old wooden shack.
Most of these materials came out of my father's papers.
Kathy Zvek is the daughter of Harry Zvek, a graduate student that had mastered glass blowing and became an integral member of the project. Harry told her all about how secretive it really was.
He could not breathe a word of it to my mother, and she had no idea.
Over 4 years, the Ames Project was responsible for producing more than 2 million pounds of uranium. When the news came in on August 6th of 1945 that the bomb was detonated over Japan and Iowa State had a significant role, Ames natives were full of joy and amazement at what they had accomplished.
They were listening to the radio and they heard the news, and there was great rejoicing in all the labs in the chemistry department. And he finally went home and he told my mother, that's what we've been doing, that's what we've been working on.
In 1947, the Ames Project was awarded the Army-Navy E-Flag for excellence and production during the project, an honor typically given to industry institutions rather than educational. Their efforts led to the building of the Ames Laboratory. That laboratory is still highly regarded today.
They started with a concept. How do we go about purifying uranium? And that led to the eventual establishment of a national federal research laboratory on the Iowa State campus.
2 Iowa State professors outsmarted industries and developed a process that is still used today to purify uranium. A tremendous achievement at the time, and continues to be an incredible achievement today. Signing off from Ames, Iowa, I'm Zach Williamson.